Recently, I immersed myself in the intriguing film The Banshees of Inisherin, with a half-glass of red wine in hand, savoring the vivid splashes of human sentiment sketched by light and shadow. This film is nothing short of absurd, manic, and whimsically chaotic. Unlike the documentaries and true-life stories I had watched before, this film seemed to revel in the intentional creation of extreme contradictions, brandishing the unexpected turns of fate. The film echoed the bizarre realities of life, suggesting that for every peculiarity in reality, there existed a possibility in the world of cinema. Underneath its stark, volcanic narrative currents, the film was awkwardly yet perfectly at home amidst the vast and splendid seascapes of Ireland. I pondered the driving force behind these stark opposition and extreme contrasts. Perhaps they stem from the choices we make, whether made by nature, the world, or ourselves. Varied in medium and composition, these choices scatter like currents in water. The story unfolds on Inisherin, an island on the west coast of Ireland. Picture smoke billowing from a seaside cabin, panoramic views over verdant valleys, a melodious organ humming with the wind, the lazy sun's long journey across a corner of a vivid blue bay, a tepid afterglow settling over the ordinary affairs of men. It's indeed a place of aspiration, a dreamy sanctuary. Yet, standing on the seashore with the sea breeze caressing one's cheeks, the tranquil beauty of this place is shattered by the harsh reality of gunfire echoing from across the bay. Paradise on one hand, warfare on the other. The melody of the organ accompanying the distant cannon roars, the serene joy of one shore shadowed by the chaos of the other. The island's white walls and red doors contrast against the poignant hues of blood on the opposite shore. The film's political allegory of the British Isles is deeply rooted in the real events of the Irish Civil War. The divergent views of civil conflict, societal fracture, from coexistence to mutual destruction, a harmony shattered by strife. Moving on to the main plot, the two protagonists, Padraig and Colm, were once the closest of friends. One day, without warning, Colm severs ties with Padraig. In response to Padraig's relentless pursuit of reconciliation, Colm cuts off his own fingers in a horrifying act of desperation. In the realm of interpersonal relationships, they both made different choices, leading to different endings. The film begins with a volley of inquiries that swiftly draw the audience into the narrative. Did we have a fight? Why doesn't he let me in? Did we really have a fight? The director's presentation of the two main characters is intriguing. Instead of retracing the warmth of their past or using flashback sequences, he shows us the reactions of those around them. The main character's responses, the sister's response, the reactions in the bar, reinforcing their past bonds through repetitive actions. I remember during my school days, a performing arts teacher asked a student to sit still, while the rest of us tried to make them laugh through our performances. We all tried in our unique ways, some successful, some less so. The teacher then shared a secret. If we repeat a silly action over and over, it would become funny and memorable. Looking back, if I had just kept asking, "Did we have a fight? Let's have a fight," I might have been able to make that fellow student laugh. As for the reasons for the severance, Colm suddenly feels his life passing by without much accomplishment. He decides to cut off communication with Padraig, which he perceives as a wastage of time, and devotes himself to his music. But the lukewarm reaction from the audience to his music and his confusion about the era Mozart belonged to suggest that he might not have the talent or ability to be a great musician. And why cut off a finger? The fingers of the left hand are crucial for violinists. They symbolize music and his dream of art. Faced with a bleak reality, he chooses to hurt himself, as if to cut off his disappointment and anxiety about being ordinary. This act, in essence, is a renouncement of giving up on his dreams, liberating him from the obligation to play the violin, thereby providing a sense of relief and emancipation. However, this choice also burdens his best friend with regret and pain. When asked about the title of his music, Colm attempts to find a meaningful answer. In the end, however, he meekly says, "Just call it the Banshees of Inisherin," and when asked, "Does it have any meaning?" he replies, "No, it just sounds powerful." When an artist can't even explain the meaning and value of his own work, can it really be considered good? The answer, of course, is a resounding no. The director extended this absurdity beyond the film, even choosing to name the film The Banshees of Inisherin, a dual-layered black humor depicting existentialism. Meanwhile, I ponder what truly lies at the heart of a great work. Is it a grand-sounding theme? Not quite. Is it an attention-grabbing form of presentation? Not that either. Good content stems from solid basics and day-to-day practice. When crafting greatness, it's important to first pave the path beneath your feet. The work itself embodies its meaning, and there's no need to sugarcoat or embellish its significance. When it comes to Padraig's choices, during happier times, he would call upon Colum at precisely 2 o'clock to join him at the bar for a drink. In their now fractured relationship, 2 o'clock becomes the time for Padraig to burn down Colum's house in a vengeful act for his donkey. When kind souls are ignited by the flame of anger, stirring a crisis and loneliness within, the director uses a seemingly non-conflictual methods to express the intricacies of the human relationships in the film. Each character has their distinctive personality traits. The director uses the simplest narrative style to convey profound truths, without extravagant cinematic field or overcomplicated plot or narrative conflicts, yet it still provokes deep thoughts. Both male leads have their own obsessions and make their choices. The tranquil island flows with the barbarism of passing days and nights. The film does not attempt to discern right from wrong, greatness or pettiness, much like the story's ending. None of this counts as closure. Padraig's sister, having witnessed everything, decides to leave this place, to escape the intrusive gossips of the neighbors, and to break away from the desolate civilization characterized by mutual torment and mental distortion. The island, while seemingly an isolated utopia where time stands still, is also a microcosm of society. There are violently distorted ethics in police officers, cunning priests with more bravado than courage, and a grocer who indulges in idle gossip. When a harmonious balance between people and environment can't be achieved, she decides to leave. The island and the journey also representing a form of choice. Humans cannot dwell on bridges, so through struggle, growth, wandering, and exploration, we build bridges to reach the other side we long for. These bridges are symbolic of our individual choices. When we embark on this grand task of bridge building, we confront the raging torrents akin to the thorns in our paths. With every inch we chisel forward, we are essentially carving our lush path of destiny. You could choose to travel along a fixed trajectory, like a star in the sky, steadfastly passing through the world. You could choose to burn between bread and jewels, finding comfort in lavish flowers or drowning sorrows in wine. You could choose the moon over the courtyard or flowers in Luoyang, each representing different shapes and values of our bridges. However, each bridge has fundamental standards of width, height, length, and load-bearing capacity. So, what would be the standard for our choices? With freedom and equality as our ultimate goal and morality as our foundation, the guiding principles for our choices should fundamentally be rooted in the respect for others' sorrow and never based on causing harm to others. A sturdy bridge, built on ideals, can link a series of isolated islands to form a unified civilization. But if one were to amass flamboyant bridges for selfish gains, encroaching on others' pillars, engaging in close combat to dispute the relative height or width, each gleaming with blinding gold, the placid lake surface can't bear such an absurd spectacle. In the end, we may find that no one can reach the shore,